and welcome to IAS Origin. Today we will be dealing with one of the most important topics of Indian polity, that is the preamble. Yes, we'll talk in detail about the preamble. What is preamble? Preamble is basically an introductory note to our constitution. Whenever you buy a book or anything, उसके संग एक particular manual आता है which talks in a brief description about that particular thing. Same is the case with constitution. हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का स्टार्टिंग पेज है प्रीएम्बल, जिसमें शॉर्ट में हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड वैल्यूज लिखे हुए हैं. दैट इज व्हाट प्रीएम्बल इज. बेसिकली ये ट्रेडिशन यूएस में स्टार्ट हुआ था. आफ्टर यूएसए वी फॉलोड दिस ट्रेडिशन एंड इट वाज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इन द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. When we talk about preamble, it basically gives the idea of the following things. What is the source of power of the constitution? कहाँ से आया है? The nature of Indian constitution, the statement of its objective, and date of its adoption. Now, when you look at this picture, this is a picture from the Indian Constitution preamble. It talks about the source of Indian Constitution. Yes, we the people of India. This is talking about source of Indian Constitution. That Constitution अपनी power लोगों से ड्राइव करता है. We are a democracy where we people define the power. Next is a sovereign, socialist, secular and republic word. These define the nature of the Indian polity. Yes, that India एक socialist, sovereign, democratic republic है जहाँ पे socialism follow होता है. It is sovereign both externally as well as internally. And हमारे यहाँ monarchy की जगह republic होता है. That means an elected head. These are the nature of Indian constitution. And this justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, these are the objectives. Objectives जिनको इंडिया हमेशा अचीव करना चाहती है. And next is the date of giving the constitution. So date of adoption. So these are the things which Indian preamble talks about. Let us discuss in detail each of these, but before that, let's talk about the history of preamble. Preamble एक्चुअल में लिया कहां से गया है? द आइडिया बिहाइंड द प्रीएम्बल इज पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरूज ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन. यस, ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन में जो जो चीजें बोली गई थी, सिमिलर थिंग्स आर रिटन इन द प्रीएम्बल, बिकॉज इन द ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन अ विजन ऑफ इंडिया वाज क्रिएटेड. हमें किस टाइप का एक इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया क्रिएट करना है. So it is based on the objective resolution. This is not enforceable. That means it is not a justicable part of a Indian constitution. You cannot go to the court that my preamble is being getting infringed. जैसे कि fundamental rights कोई infringe करता है, you can directly go to the court that my right is being denied and the court will give you a remedy. But this is not the case with preamble. It is not enforceable. Okay, so the preamble states the objectives of the constitutions and interpretations of the articles. When we talk about constitution लीगल लिमिनरीज ने लिखा है, उसकी लैंग्वेज बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. जहां पर भी एम्बिगिटी आती है, वेगनेस आती है, कोई प्रोविजन समझ नहीं आता है, देन इट कैन सर्व एज अ बेसिस ऑफ कंपैरिजन एंड टू टेक आउट द मीनिंग व्हाट एक्चुअली दिस प्रोविजन वांट्स टू क्लेम. सो हियर इट इज अ सोर्स ऑफ इंटरप्रिटेशन. नाउ वी विल टॉक अबाउट द डिटेल्ड प्रोविजन, बट बिफोर दैट आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू दैट यू कैन एनरोल विद IAS Origin for prelims cum mains program, where you'll get live classes, one-to-one mentorship session, unlimited recorded access to your classes, and a personalized strategy plan based on your needs. Now let's talk in detail about the keywords. We the people of India. As I said, this depicts the source of Indian constitution, that India is a democratic country. Yes, it talks about the democracy, like the लोकसभा हाउस ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, जहां पे वो लोग रहते हैं विच आर इलेक्टेड डायरेक्टली बाय द पीपल. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट राज्यसभा, इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन. सिमिलरली स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर में स्टेट असेंबली. सो हियर वी कैन सी दैट इंडिया फॉलोज indirect democracy, means representatives are there to bring about the laws and the bills and the acts. So this is a source of power. Next is sovereign. The term sovereign means that India has its own independent authority which will frame laws, and no external power can come in its way of framing laws. In the country, the legislature has the power to make the laws. Now when we talk about sovereignty, sovereignty means supreme power है आपके हाथ में. Now here sovereignty implies two types of sovereignty. Internal sovereignty, means you can frame any laws within your country for yourself. For example, you can bring about any law like MG Narega आ गया, अंत्योदय अन्न योजना आ गई, anything, any law you can bring. Citizenship Amendment Bill might be criticized by many other countries, but you have brought it because you are sovereign. Okay, so this is internal sovereignty. Now, when we talk about external sovereignty, means how you are framing relations with the other countries. That is your personal choice. No other country can claim its power. For example, if we talk about external sovereignty, NAM is a classic example, non-alignment movement. It was our choice to adopt that movement and to raise it. So that is our external sovereignty. हम external spheres में कैसे अपने आप को place करते हैं. That is sovereignty. Next, when we talk about socialist, now here the socialist and secular, these two words which we'll be talking about were not originally present in the constitution. They were added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now, after reading this, we'll analyze whether they were needed to be amended or not. उससे पहले वो exist करते थे या नहीं. So let's talk on detail first. Socialist. The term socialist means achievement through the democratic means. It holds faith in a mixed economy. Socialism means equal status देना सारे लोगों को, equality establish करना society में. Both private and public sectors will go side by side. This was the aim of socialism. Now we cannot say कि socialism word जब incorporate नहीं हुआ था तब socialism India नहीं था. There was socialism. When we talk about Pandit Nehru, Gandhi ji, all these leaders used to follow socialist inclination. So even before the addition, India was a socialist country. When we talk about secular, the term secular means that all the religion in India get equal representation. सारे religion को equal response मिलना. So after 42nd Amendment, this was added. But even before this, India was a secular country. We can see to article number 25. Article number 25 is specifically mentioned here, right to freely practice, profess and propagate your religion. Means India पहले से ही secular था. This word was just added to make it explicit. जो इंडिया में already implicitly था, उसको और ज़्यादा किया गया है. Some scholars like D.D. Vasu call this as a political manifesto of political parties. That is कि political propaganda के लिए ये words add किए गए थे. So that is a different debate. But yes, India was from beginning the socialist and secular country. When we talk about socialism, yes, socialism was there because 5-year plans initially थे इंडिया में. When we talk about pro-poor policies, वो भी इंडिया में initially थी. PDS system was also there. So these were some of the things which show that India was socialist from the beginning. Next is the democratic. The term implies that the Constitution of India has a form of government which gets into authority from the will of the people expressed in the election. Yes, India में कोई military rule नहीं होता है, ना ही कोई dictator है. Every 5 years elections are being held, and that is why India is termed as a democratic country. And the beauty of Indian democracy lies in the fact that till date these elections are being conducted peacefully in a fair manner. Next is republic. The term republic indicates that the head of the state is elected by the people in India. For example, when Britain की बात करते हैं, Britain में monarchy follow होती है, वहाँ पे hereditary basis पे head चुना जाता है. But in India, when we talk about head of the state, for example, President of India, he is indirectly elected, but he is elected. So we here follow a republican pattern of government. Next is liberty. The term liberty means freedom for the people to choose their way of life. People are free to live their life. This has been explicitly mentioned in Article 21, right to life and liberty. Okay, but liberty does not mean that you can do anything and everything. You are confined within a particular set of laws जिनके within आप अपनी liberty express करते हो. Because if there are no set of laws, liberty will turn into anarchy. That is why some laws are important. Next is fraternity. Fraternity basically means feeling of brotherhood. Now, India की बात की जाए, India इतनी heterogeneous country है. When we talk about different religions, so many religions are there, so many languages are there, so many different cultures are there. As a result, ऐसी heterogeneous society में fraternity becomes an important core value to maintain the integrity and unity of a nation. That is why हमारी fundamental duties में भी mentioned here to promote the feeling of brotherhood among all. Next is justice. In preamble, three types of justice are being talked about. Social justice. Next is economic justice. And third is political justice. These three justices are being talked about. Now, all these are being granted in the Indian Constitution. When we talk about social justice, you cannot be discriminated on the basis of caste, creed, color and religion. Everyone is equal in Indian society and all of them will get equal opportunity. Saaf mentioned in Article 15 and 16, equal opportunity to all. No discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, color, religion or place of birth. Next is economic justice. DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. They talk about there should not be any concentration of wealth. Equitable distribution of wealth hona chahiye. So DPSP talks about economic. Next is political justice. Yes, politically, universal adult franchise is followed. Each and every person beyond the age of 18 years is allowed to cast their vote. So all these are granted in the Indian Constitution. Next is equality. The term equality means that no section of the society has any special privileges. किसी को कोई special privileges नहीं मिलेंगे. As talked in article number 14, equality before law and equal protection of law. Everyone is same in front of the laws and everyone shall be treated equally. So equality becomes a important concept of Indian Constitution. Now, these were the keywords which were associated with the Indian Constitution, which described the nature and the objective. Now, we will be talking about the status of preamble. Various Supreme Court cases have discussed whether preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution or not. And when we talk about two classic judgments, you need to remember. Berubari case. This was a case in relation to exchange of enclaves. Enclaves के exchange के लिए था between India and Pakistan. In that case, it was held that preamble is a key to the mind of makers of the constitution. That means it tells what our constitution makers wanted to convey and make India. Their vision was being established, but this was not a part of the Indian Constitution. So here it was stated that preamble is not a part of the constitution. But again this debate arose, and then in the landmark judgment Keshwanandan Bhartiya case, it was held that preamble will now be considered as a part of the constitution. Preamble को constitution का part माना गया था, and an important doctrine known as basic structure doctrine was evolved, and it was said that preamble is not supreme power or source. ये कोई सोर्स नहीं दे रहा है लेजिस्लेचर को what all functions to perform. Neither it is a restriction upon the powers. It is just a document which helps us to interpret various provisions of the constitution. And in the same case, it was held that preamble can be amended. And it can be amended, but the basic structure of the preamble cannot be changed. So after this only preamble was amended in 1975 after the 42nd constitutional amendment, and two words socialist and secular were added. Again this judgment was upheld in LIC case, LIC versus Union of India case. So you need to remember these judgments because time and again in prelims it has been asked which of the following judgments preamble was held as a part. You will remember Keshwanandan Bharti, but people tend to forget LIC case. So remember LIC case versus Union of India, also it was held that preamble is a part. So this was all about preamble in detail. Hope you like the video. Do like and comment, and for more such videos subscribe to our channel IAS Origin. Thank you.